So if I were to go back to the very beginning, knowing what I know now of 5 years of being in the online info space, and I had to make my first $100,000, these are the steps that I would take to get there as quickly as possible. Now, this video is going to be pure value, so no fancy editing because my editor needs a break, and I'm just going to go into the detailed steps, and there's not that many of them that you can follow or essentially steal and get the exact same results by the end of the year. So with that being said, let's get straight to it. So the first step of actually making 100K in your very first year on online space is essentially by solving other people's problems. Whatever you find yourself being an expert in, that is the problem that you want to solve. Now, with that being said, you don't have to be an expert in such a given field. You don't need to have 10 years of experience in order to start talking about it. What you need to do or be is essentially being slightly better than the rest of the market out there. Is something that you know that other people will find handy and useful. That means you can help them with that potential issue and therefore charge money for it. In my personal opinion, and this is the advice that I give to myself and many other creators out there, is always to help your younger self. So, for example, I myself right now help people, or essentially creators, go from just being a creator who posts videos to actually having a full-time online business that generates them enough money to leave their 9 to 5. And who I'm helping and who I'm targeting is essentially myself a few years ago when I was on YouTube and on social media not knowing what the hell I was doing and not knowing how to monetize on my content. So I have gone through the journey, I've done the experience, I've got the scars, I've made the mistakes and pretty much everything else you can think of, and now I'm helping my younger self. And because of that, I'm able to charge money for it because I am condensing that 5 years worth of experience into a few weeks for my clients, and I'm able to get them up to speed so much faster. So when you're thinking about what do I talk about, how do I get started, what do I say, what do I not say, what kind of topic should I cover, always think about, is there something that you could be able to teach to your younger self? That could be in fitness, in relationship, in lifestyle, in gaming, whatever it is. There are so many problems out there in the world with such poor education that if you have accomplished something or you have achieved some sort of transformation, then go for it. Start talking about it and watch how people start following you. So now that we figured out exactly what to talk about and what our next 100 videos are going to be, and believe me, there will be over 100 videos, the next thing we need to do is start creating a few lead magnets. In other words, what are we going to give of value in return for an email from our audience? Because an audience on social media is like a nightclub, a very, very crowded place. And our goal is essentially to pull those people away from the club and have them on a one-to-one conversation. And on social media, that is very difficult to have because what people are going to do is watch your video and then scroll right by and watch a cat meme or a joke or something of entertainment, and therefore not going to remember you whatsoever. However, if you can get their email address, then you have some sort of personal information from them that you can use in order to contact them when you have got your first offer, your first group coaching program, your one-to-one mentorship, or whatever. You have a means of connecting with that person via email. Now, I'm not going to go into detail as to why emails are so important and the psychology behind emails in comparison to, let's say, Instagram DMs or WhatsApp messages or whatever, but know this: the more emails you have, the more easier it's going to be when it comes to launching your very first product. And quite frankly speaking, it's really difficult to be broke if you have 10,000 of subscribers who are engaged in your email list. So if you launch a product or a service and you have 10,000 people that you can reach out to and say, hey, check this out, you better believe some of them are going to be buying, especially if you provided a whole bunch of value. When it comes to the lead magnet, what I tend to do is essentially create a 30 tips in 30 days on how to turn views into profit. This is something that my younger self would have killed for because it is so useful, and I speak and give various bits of advice that I would use back in the day in order to get more money from my social media. And this is something that it will actually look like. As you can see here, I have used this and I've created this through ConvertKit essentially, and I've got 30 emails in 30 days that will show up to each and every single one of my email subscribers that they will find useful and therefore implement in their social media strategy. Now, this is completely free of charge. All I'm asking for in return is an email address, okay? Now, if you're thinking emails, what is this, 2010 or something like that? They are never gonna go out of date. This is whenever you go into a business or something like that, the very first thing they ask for is your email address. If you wanna sign up for a club card, they're gonna ask for your email address. You wanna get a 10% discount, they're gonna ask for your email address because they are so important. Matter of fact, they are so important that if you ever were to sell your own company, one of the very first things that the potential buyer is going to look at is how much data on your customers do you have. In other words, how much contact information, how many email addresses do you actually hold, because that stuff is really valuable. So now that we have figured out exactly what we're going to be talking about and we have set up our lead magnets, the next thing we need to do is actually create a product. And this is exactly what I've done with my own creator coach program. Now, this is really simple. When it comes to actually creating your own product, you ideally want to create it in 3 simple steps, okay? The first one is do it yourself. In other words, something like I have here right now, either a course, a paid community, group coaching, or whatever. In other words, this is what you provide all of the information, all of the resources, all of the value that you can give, but essentially the client or the customer will have to do it themselves. So in this case, I provide all of the information in relation to making money from your online social media in regards to emails, in regards to making short form content, in regards to making long form content, how to deal with clients and so on. So in essence, it is do it yourself. That's the first step. The next piece of program you can have is done with you. And this is where you have one-to-one coaching with your potential clients. You keep them on track, you keep them accountable, you see what's working for them and what isn't, and you provide actionable advice each and every single step. Now, this can be for a month, it can be for 3 months, it can be for 6 months, it can be for a year, it can be until they reach a certain result. Doesn't really matter, but what matters is that done yourself is the cheap option. Done with you is slightly more expensive, and then the most expensive option is actually done for you. Okay, now done for you means that the client gets to relax, they don't have to do anything. You come in as the expert and you create the program for them. You get the results for them, and therefore they don't have to worry about whether or not they're doing something right or wrong, and therefore their chances of success are the highest. So in my case, I would create their emails for them, I would create their lead magnets for them, I would create their landing pages for them, their automations for them, and pretty much do everything. So the only thing that the client is left to do is essentially create content and get as much views as possible with my help. So it's that done for you program that is obviously going to be the most expensive one, but is the one that's going to get them the best results. So in essence, think about it in your niche. Now, this may not apply in certain niches because done for you, for example, will not apply in the fitness niche. But let's say, for example, you are an AI consultant, okay? Well, do it yourself could be a coaching program on all the latest AI tools that you can use for your business. Done with you could be a one-to-one consultation, or potentially going in and helping out your team and learning exactly how AI can make your business much more productive. And then done for you, you as an AI consultant can go in and implement all of those systems and then train up every single person in the business on how they best be used, and therefore make that business more efficient pretty much overnight. So now that we have spoken about who exactly is it that we're trying to help, we've spoken about getting their email addresses, which I can't stress enough of how important that is, and creating some sort of a product or a service. The next thing we need to do is make probably one of the most important automations of 2024, and essentially that is meaning, how do we get our viewers to give us out their email addresses in exchange for value? And right now there is no such thing for YouTube, there is no such thing for TikTok, but for Instagram there is a program called ManyChat, and if you have never heard of it before, I don't know where you've been. But ManyChat essentially gives you the automated right to DM automatically your potential followers and provide them something of value in exchange for an email. And I'm going to show you exactly very quickly of how my ManyChat automation is used and how it gets me hundreds and now actually thousands of email addresses that I can contact to any single time. So this is my ManyChat automation. This is just one of many that I'm using right now. Now, I do have a separate tutorial on how to create this, but I'm just going to show you how it's being used and how it works what's so good about it, etc. So here, for example, let's say a user replies to a story or a post with a certain word. In this case, it's actually ChatGPT. Okay, what there is, first of all, is the automation will ask whether or not that person is actually following me or not, or more like check. If they are following me, then it will go to a separate message. But if they're not following me, they will ask, hey, to get free helpful resources, could you please follow me first? That would be really much appreciated. So we straight away think about it. With this automation, would get a DM, the person has to comment, and they are following us as well as an account. From an engagement perspective, that really helps the Instagram algorithm to push our content to more and more people. So we'll get the free valuable resource once they have followed us, and the automation can see that that person who messaged is following us. Thanks for the comment. Do you want to send a free resource? If it's a yes, great. Could you provide me with your best email address so I can send it right over? Once the email address is given, that straight away goes to my ConvertKit, which essentially is my email marketing platform. And I provide them with the free guide in this case, which is a simple Google Doc that is a simple PDF that I've done in about 20 minutes. Once that's done, are you looking to make more money from social media? If it's a yes, then would you like to jump on a quick call so I can help you, and then book in a call? And this could be a very, very simple Calendly link. Now, if at any point this person says no, then it goes into no worries. If you do change your mind, please do let me know. It's a really, really simple automation that you could use for your business and for your niche. So let's give you another example. Let's say you're in the dog training niche, okay? And you are helping pet owners train their newborn puppies. So somebody, for example, types in the word puppy on your story or your post or whatever. Well, first of all, the automation will check if the person is following you or not. If they have, great. If they haven't, they will ask for them to be followed. Then, can I give you a free resource? Yes, you'll get their email address, great, and then you give them, 10 tips on how to train your puppy in under 2 weeks or something like that. I don't know. Are you looking to train your dog? Do you need any help with training your puppy? If they say yes, would you like to jump on a call to see how I can help you? And then you book a call. And if no, no worries. If you do change your mind, if your puppy is still misbehaving, please do let us know. It's really this simple, and it's really simple, yet it's really effective, because not only it gets us to get more email addresses, but it also gets us more followers on Instagram and more engagement as well, which pushes our content to that many more people. And these are the sorts of automations that's going to make all of the difference for your business in 2025. All right, so now we have essentially the crux, the foundations of our business. We know exactly what we're going to be talking about. We know our emails, we know our automations, and we got a product or a service. What's next? Well, the next step is to start creating as much content as possible. And there are different platforms for different niches, but my personal favorites are 3. Number 1, YouTube longform. YouTube longform is absolutely critical for your business. And this is where majority of my customers came when I started selling my Amazon FBA coaching programs back in the day, because they were able to see that I knew exactly what I was talking about. I did a lot of long-form tutorials, and then this is where email and calls came through essentially, and where I was able to sell my one-to-one mentorships. So YouTube longform, in my opinion, is still the best platform out there. Number 2 is going to be Instagram. With all of these automations that are available with Instagram, Instagram is especially popular in America and in the Europe as well. You can very easily DM people. And matter of fact, I actually got quite a few clients that are making over 50K each and every single month just from Instagram alone. And then last but not least, LinkedIn and Twitter, because this is where all the serious people with a lot of money who can afford one-to-one coaching usually are. This is where, according to statistics, majority of those higher income customers are going to be at. So if you're good at writing content, make sure not to forget to be on Twitter and LinkedIn as well. But all of these, none of these are as important, and none of these will convert as well as emails, which is why I said emails have to be your number 1 priority. If you are starting this online business game, your number 1 metric that you should be following in the very beginning is how many emails are you getting each and every single week and each and every single month. Because you may not be selling at the very beginning, but what you can do is start getting those email subscribers that will pay dividends in the long term. Now, with content also, when you don't know what to talk about or what what kind of subjects and topics to cover in the very beginning, make sure to look at what are the best people in your category, in your niche are saying. What kind of topics are they covering? What kind of hooks are they using? How long are those videos? Are they more like talking head videos, which is what I'm doing right now? Or are there videos more like in the outside, in the real world, more like vlogging type of videos, etc.? You want to mirror and essentially just see what other people are doing, or more like emulate, or in other words, copy what other people are doing, because if it's working for them, then clearly it's going to be working for you. And the only difference between them and you is the experience that they have by finding all of these things out for years. So in the very beginning, just see what's working for them and start there. With time, you can essentially develop your own voice, grow that confidence on camera, and start moving away from your competition and becoming your own individual that people really like you for. And then last but not least, the most important thing that I have discovered in the last 6 months is essentially setting up a very good referral program structure. Because this is the truth, guys. When it comes to marketing and advertising, the most effective way of marketing and advertising isn't actually through TV ads, Google ads, Facebook ads, or anything like that. The highest converting advertisement is actually through friends' recommendations and referrals. In other words, what we need to do is figure out how do people recommend our services to others, because those are the ones that are going to be converting the best. And you can actually tell that such and such client comes from a referral, because if you jump on a call with them, they are already bought in and they just want to know a little bit more before they pull out their credit card, because your services have been recommended by somebody else. Now, there are two ways of getting referrals. Number one is by getting exceptionally good results to your current clients who just can't wait to tell everybody around them about your services. So say, for example, you're a personal trainer and you got your client to lose 20 kilos. Well, people are bound to notice, and therefore they are going to be asking questions and then reaching out to you directly themselves. Or option B, and this one is the one that works the best, is by actually giving 15, 20, 25% of the sales value to the person that has referred business to you. So for example, I just recently closed on a client that has got £10,000 and they literally just paid £10,000 for my services. So I decided to give 20% of that value of that £10,000, in other words, £2,000, to the person that has referred me that potential client. And for her, that was more than she was making in a whole month, which means she just made £2,000 by literally making a simple referral. And because she was over the moon with that, because it was amazing for her, she is now very much motivated to give me more and more clients as the time goes. So in other words, what I want you guys to think about is always a win-win situation. By sharing and spreading the love essentially and sharing your wins, you will get much more in return in the long term. And with that being said, that's pretty much it for today's video. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll speak to you soon. Bye bye.